Hey guys, and welcome back to the GSTL. Well, StarTale has pulled ahead and taken the lead with Curious here.
Yeah, Curious with 3 wins. Gumiho, ASD, and Tier lost to him. Now he's up against Lucky. Lucky, a Zerg player who lost in the GSL Code A preliminaries against Dark, another Zerg in the best of 3. As a pull off some kind of strategy to at least end Curious' run. I feel FXO is a team these days in the team league that really centers around Lenok, and all the other players that play kind of just try to make it as easy for Lenok as possible.
Yes. Lenok is the head of the team. He is their final player. Again and again, and basically FXOpen just pops out maps that they don't like, that Lenok would not want to play on, and eventually just leaves it up to him at the end of the day.
This is why Antigua Shipyard is now being picked by Lucky. So the maps that remain are Grand Lagoon, Abyssal City, and Whirlwind. And especially Abyssal City and Whirlwind are maps that favor Zerg a bit. So especially against Terran. I mean, if you look at the StarTale roster, who's left? We have players like Hack, Bomber, Sound Spotter, all of them being Terrans. And we have Squirtle, a Protoss player. In regards to the Zergs, there's, I think Pet is here, Suishin isn't. So that is going to determine a lot here, but well, let's find out if Lucky is able to win against Curious here. The GSTL StarTale versus FXO. Now let roll.
I like it.
The beginning is awesome, and then it always screws it up a bit for me. I don't know. The transition is something that I don't really dig that much. Right side of the map, we have starting for StarTale. Our Zerg on a run. Yes.
StarTale, Curious.
Very curious player.
Yeah, he's always wondering about something.
And he's up against another Zerg. He's probably wondering how he's going to win against this guy. Starting to the left side, we have 4FXO, a player who really hopes he is going to get
FXO, Lucky!
Look at you, production. Nice.
Yeah. Oh. Trying to pick at his nose. He looks stressed, so, you know?
He looks very I mean, okay, this is sounds stupid. He's a little bit. He looks unlucky, not like Lucky usually does. No pun intended or anything like it. It's just like
you on that, yeah.
He looks a little bit different.
Yeah. He definitely looks like a little bit. I don't know. He looks like another person, kind of. Not like so much so that you can't tell it's him, but he's changed. You know, FXOpen and these pro gamers, they're getting stylish. They're getting in shape.
Getting mature.
Yeah.
Especially Choya.
Yeah, man, Choya.
Both of them actually look exactly the same build. Delaying the pool for a long time in the Zerg versus Zerg. And on Tier Shipyard, you can try to start with an early pool and hope your opponent is playing things greedy, but usually you have both players just going for exactly this build or a very similar one where you get the hatch first. Bit of a delay pool. Roaches are usually what we see, Roach, Hydra and Infestor. But, well, in the early game, you always have to start things off with one of your Bailey nests.
Yeah. I think... What sort of style is... I can't quite picture the type of style that we're going to see from Lucky in this game. Curious, on the other hand, in this matchup, he's so good and he feels, like, really unpredictable. Lucky, on the other hand, I haven't watched him play ZVZ in a while, and I can't really pick a style or a way that I expect him to play with his lair tech. Both these guys are doing, by the way, the exact same build right now.
The cool thing about Lucky is that usually when he plays in the GSTL, he wins one game. He always wins the game that he's supposed to win, and then he loses the second one. The match against Creator was a bit of a hiccup. But if you just watch his match history against Fnatic, for example, and also against Team MVP, he usually wins the one game that he's supposed to win, then he loses. So if it's all about defeating Lucky, Curious here, he might be the one to pull it off. Both of them still with exactly the same timings. We have now the Roach, the Baneling Nest coming up for both of them. Speed also at a very similar timing, and not a lot of variation here in the build.
Yeah, not a lot at all. I mean, literally like the exact same timings for Speed and the Baneling Nests.
And they're gonna find out about it.
Yeah. Well.
To me, this is really more about, you know, even if Lucky wins against Curious, I think Lucky will be defeated. Lucky is not the player who will win this team match for FXO. It has to be Lenok. Lucky for a long time has not been the person who wins 3 games in a row in the team league. So, if you look at the maps that are left, this is really the setup that FXO was trying to go for. Grand Lagoon, Abyssal City and Whirlwind with a lot of Terran players on the StarTale bench. And I feel the big question really is not only Lucky against Curious, it is how many players does Lenok have to face later on, and on which maps?
Exactly. And which players? Yeah. We may see Squirtle.
I think we will.
But of course, all of this comes out after this match, because we may just see Lenok against Curious, and uh-oh, this is not good for Lucky there, having to cancel his Banelings.
The tech is a bit faster for Lucky. Curious is getting the additional Spine Crawler to be safe. Getting this +1 attack upgrade for the Roach is a lot faster.
Yeah.
And you know, I think later on what we are going to see in a case that StarTale has this many players left, we will probably see Squirtle, we will definitely see Bomber, and I feel that as the last player it's not going to be a Zerg, it's not going to be a Protoss, has to be another Terran player. I would say Hack. Yeah. Even though he's more known to play well against Protoss.
Maybe so. That's a good point. The +1 is much faster for Curious, but he is getting his layers a little bit later, so... Ooh, Spire comes out here for Lucky.
Lucky with its Spire attack, and Curious most likely gonna head into the Infestation Pit.
Well, this is interesting, the way this is gonna line up. Depends on when the Infestation Pit gets started.
He has to identify what's going on, and his lair tech is done, so he can morph an Overseer if he wants to, and just move it in to Scout. And he kinda has to. If he does not know what's coming and he's suddenly faced with a lot of Mutalisks, that might end the game in favor of Lucky.
So it's usually all about the third base, you know, with Mutalisks.
Yeah.
Can you force that down? He's trying to target these Banelings down so he can attack, but it's not really working out so far. And he's actually going to walk back with these. He can keep the Banelings nearby so they can use them to attack the third base as well.
Curious is supply blocked and he's building 6 Overlords because of it. No. That's a lot. It's getting close, you know. The Overseer is now done. He has an Overseer. Yeah. But he needs to identify what's going on here. He won't have the Infestation Pit in time if he decides to go for this tech choice, but he needs to at least set up a few additional Queens and also the Spore Crawler.
Now he's coming in. He will see the Spire. If he goes a little bit further, he actually gets turned around by the Queen he doesn't see. Now he turns it back around. He's got the Chainlink as well.
And now he knows. Alright, now he knows, and he already saw the Mutalisk. There's the extra Queen, where the Spore Crawlers, 2 additional Queens are being built, but Spore Crawlers are really, really needed.
Yeah, he can't really skip those. Now he starts them.
Yeah.
1 in the main, and we'll see 1 in the natural very soon. Third base is going to be almost impossible for him to defend, though, whereas Lucky already has his third up. He's starting to add gases there. Lucky can actually just run in with the Mutalisks to third, and Lings are not going to be a problem for him. The Roaches are going to be what's going to save that third base, if anything.
That's the Infestation Pit that we have for Curious now, so he starts to go for the counter to this, but yes, as Wolf already pointed out, the third base is just something that he can't defend. I mean, what can he use? There's not a lot of anti-air, the only thing that he has are the Queens, and they're not mobile enough. The Roaches are trying to force this army to the bottom left.
A nice little split off there to deal with the Banelings. The cancel gets hit. Well, the Roach timing here to take out the third is so smart by Curious, and it's going to work. And in this case, it's not going to be... He's not going to be able to cancel it, he's just going to lose it.
So +1 attack timing is done, therefore 2 heading Zerglings. This is what he can do now. The +2 attack timing is being researched. He's just trying to snipe the hatch.
And he'll get it.
Yeah.
Especially with that +1, I mean...
And he's getting a few additional Zerglings that are running into the natural right now. And there are Banelings, but they don't take down all of the units. A few drones died, scouting information in the main base. Wasn't able to sneak in as many Zerglings as he wanted to.
If he had not had that Baneling there, though, this could have been disastrous.
that could have ended the game.
Yeah.
Indeed, it could have crippled the economy of Lucky, but as it is, he is ahead in overall supply.
He made a ton of lings now because he knows that the counterattack possibility is there. But this is a funny game that we're witnessing now. A ton of queens here to help the DPS to block this attack as well.
The supply is similar. We have +2 attack upgrade nearly completed, and a lot of infestors that can help out against the muralists.
Can't take a third base yet though, and that's a big problem because Lucky's already restarted his third. It's about a third of the way done.
More infestors for Curious, and also more energy because he has them a bit earlier. This is not the battle that Curious wants to take. He does not have the circling numbers to face with.
Definitely not. And the Mutas are actually going to clear the rest of that up. Queens are slowly helping him secure that third base. Pretty tough row, but now he starts it very behind. They're both actually making a macro hatch right now as well.
Lucky is once more ahead in the overall supply, and he is now going into his own infestors. He has quite a few of them. And will have the third base a lot faster, and he already has 2 extractors at the third. This is something that Curious doesn't have. So he will have a lot more gas than the StarTale Zerg player. Curious needs to be really careful about how he approaches the next 2 minutes in this game.
Yeah.
Things are looking pretty grim for him, to be honest.
3 infestors coming out, but
this is pretty tense, Wolf. The armor upgrade now for Curious. If he gets a good engagement and a few really good fungals, then yes, but right now we have Lucky nearly matching his infestor count. He's building 4 additional ones now, then they will be even in the infestors. And Curious is just droning up, wants to get ahead in economy and therefore to claim a lead. Also the Hydra then is something that might work in his favor.
Yeah, the Hydra then is going to be helpful. He's got the upgrade advantage too, so the upgrade advantage may let him take that critical engagement that can change the game into his favor. But only having 1 Spore here with a Queen is not going to be enough to defend against these Mutas. He's definitely going to lose probably about 8 or so drones.
Another thing is that we have still so many more drones for his opponent. Lucky has had 77 to 66 just a few seconds ago.
He gets out with the Mutas as well without getting fungled. And in total, workers killed. Only 5 for now.
But Lucky is getting farther and farther ahead in this game.
Yeah, his economy is just insane. He's got that hidden base at the bottom right that there's no way that Curious is ever going to really be able to scout and attack. He's even taking out some drones here with a small run by.
He had a lot more harvesters. He's getting a bigger army now. He's already 40 supply ahead in the ZVZ. Curious right now looks a bit shaken. It certainly looks like he is not going to win this game. Not if he is not able to get a perfect engagement. He has not a lot going for him. He's now on exactly the same infestor count. He's actually going to be a bit behind in just a few seconds. Roach count is similar. We still have the muralisks ready. The harvester count is better for Lucky. He's already maxed out where StarTale Curious is just at 150 supply.
Yep. That Overseer barely gets away. So lucky.
The only the only thing that he has are the Hydralisks.
Yeah, the Hydralisks here are they're actually spotted now. He wants to trade these Mutalisks efficiently to remax with better units, but he's just, it's lose-lose to use the Mutalisks. You can't really use them in an army, and if he's going to fight against the Spore Coil, he's obviously going to lose them, but he's like, well, their time in here is over. There's not really much I can do with Mutalisks anymore. I've already cleaned up every Overlord on the map, except the one to the left at the 9 o'clock position that you can't see. Now,
another big problem for Curious is that Lucky is catching up with upgrades fast.
Yeah. I think he found out about the space somehow. As he sees drones running over there, yeah, he actually scouted it with changelings.
He's gonna take it down. The space is going to die.
But with his units missing, can he hold the attack?
That's the bigger issue here. The army supply is still better for Lucky, and look at this bank for Lucky, 3,000 minerals and 1,000 gas. This is too much. Infested Terrans are everywhere. Yes, the Hydras have an amazing DPS, but there is so much for Lucky.
Yeah, and the Hydras don't have support, and there's no bungles to help them. Watch the supply just go crazily down for Curious here. It looks like Young Lucky has actually done it.
Yeah. He's completely steamrolling in here. There's nothing that Curious can do. If Lucky reinforces, can he though? He doesn't have, he has a few more lava. He's building 30 roaches now.
Even without reinforcements, he's going to kill this base. He's going to be able to get every single drone. if he targets them, which it's acceptable. He doesn't have any more infestors nearby with energy.
Lucky does a crazy amount of damage. He saved his infestors, which is really crucial, and he might also be able to take down the space. Going to be close.
Yeah, he's going to get it, I think.
Oh, wow.
One more shot would have done it.
Yeah, 8 hit points.
And these roaches are actually denied. But
Yeah.
it's...
In the end, it's not really going to
matter.
matter.
Without getting the base, you're right. Because the cost efficiency of that last trade was so much in Lucky's favor.
Just check the bank here for Lucky. With 2,000 minerals and nearly 1,000 gas, he's completely fine. He's maxed out already. Once more, 50 supply ahead of his opponent. This game, if Lucky... I mean, how can Lucky lose this?
I mean, that's some crazy mistake or an engagement that Curious just takes. But it's not going to happen.
If he runs around the army of Curious in circles without attacking, then maybe Curious has a chance. But it looks like Curious' run is over. Infested Terrans everywhere, most of them for Lucky, and Curious is dropping in supply like crazy. The hatch is gone at the third. The income is non-existent for the StarTale player anymore.
That's it.
This has to be it.
Yeah.
Expect GG any second here. With an 80 supply lead in a ZVZ, it's a pretty safe bet that Curious is going to take this game.
Yeah, even Roach is in the main base here, killing the queens. All the infestors are dead. Curious dropping some desperate infested changelings. Trying to stifle him, but GG.
GG, game over, and Curious, he ties the Team League match up 3-3. Quite happy. Once again, it just proves to be true. Lucky at least takes one game.
Yeah. And FXOpen very happy about this. They've eliminated a big threat. Is it time for Bomber, or is he going to come last? That's what I'm thinking, you know?
I could see Squirtle. In the end, does it really matter? You know you have to face Linog later, so it's two Zerg players that you have to deal with. I feel it's more a thing about which map are you gonna choose.
Yeah.
What map do you really want to play against Lucky and not against Linog? I feel the next player, yeah, I think it's more about the map. Which map do you like the least when you play against Linog? That's the map that you pick against Lucky now.
Yeah. We've got Grand Lagoon, Abyssal City, and Whirlwind. If you want to use a Pros player, you don't want to play on Grand Lagoon against either of these. So if you want to set Pros out, probably on Whirlwind, I guess, would be the best bet for you. Because the other map, Abyssal City, is also not really good for Pros versus Zerg, I feel.
I seriously would approach it completely a different way. I would use the shittiest map right now. Because you want to play that against Lucky and not against Linog. Giving Linog an extra advantage later, I would rather face Lucky on a map that is difficult for me than face Linog on the difficult map.
Yeah.
So I would completely approach it from the other way.
You're actually, that's right, because, okay, yeah.
So,
well, if you lose as well, then the other map, it also depends on whether or not you want to face Linog with your next player on which map as well, because if you have a map that you particularly don't want to play against Linog on later, then you would want to use that one early there as well. But that's kind of it's kind of a weird thing to think about if you lose. It's kind of strange in this situation where you have very few players
I just feel whoever comes out now has to be confident enough that he's able to take down Lucky. If you can't defeat Lucky, you can't defeat Linog.
Yeah, no, it's Bomber.
We have a Terran versus Zerg. Very tough match for Lucky. The map is really what I'm most curious about.
Yeah, same. We're going to find out what it is very soon.
I feel it's going to be either Abyssal City or Whirlwind.
I think so too. I actually want to say Whirlwind.
Yeah, me too.
Well, here's Bomber's ranking here. Pretty nice win rate, and especially considering how many games he's played. 30 games played in the Team League. He comes out often.
Just got our invite, and the map is going to be
Grand Lagoon.
Grand Lagoon, okay.
Interesting choice. Not very many good maps left to play against Zerg, which is exactly what FXOpen has planned this from the beginning. That's how they pick their maps. To make it the best possible way for Linog to clean things up at the end.
Yeah.
Bomber looking ready in the booth.
He did really well at Lone Star Clash and also at MLG. Faced a lot of strong Zerg opponents.
Can Bomber beat Lucky? Lucky was one of the best Zerg versus Terran players on the team in the past, but recently it has not looked as impressive in this particular matchup.
Yeah, but as I said, if you don't defeat Lucky, you can't defeat Leonok.
Yes. Leonok is just on a different level. He's one level up over Lucky.
There we have the both of them. Bomber to the left, Lucky to the right. Grand Lagoon is our 7th map of the day. StarTale against FXO.
Yep. Bomber's face maybe a little bit hot. Just touching it.
Both of them after this game have 1 player left.
Yeah. And
you know that Bomber is going to play, that was a given.
Yes, but the last player was the one that was a little bit uncertain.
Yeah, exactly. Hack, Squirtle, I don't know. So many options for StarTale.
It's very true, and this is the semifinals, guys. The score is tied 3-3. Who is going to take the lead here at the GSTL, casted by Ro4?